Hey, how's it going, guys? Right, so in today's video, we're going to recreate this dashboard that I saw recently from YouTube, which is this one right here. We're going to recreate this dashboard in Power BI. Right, so the reason why I want to recreate this dashboard because I think this is going to be a pretty good exercise for beginners who want to at least to get started with building a dashboard. And I saw this dashboard was built using Tableau, so I thought it would be a pretty good opportunity to build a very similar dashboard in Power BI. Alright, so let's look at the final dashboard that we'll be creating. So here's the dashboard. So it's a very simple dashboard. We have a drop down allows us to select the title type. So in this case, we have two different types, movie and TV show. And we can also select both types. Now, based on the selection that you make, the visualizations are going to update accordingly. And here we can also choose the title year when the title is added to Netflix. Alright, so let's get started. So first you want to open a blank Power BI file. Now for the data set, you're going to download this CSV file from the link in the description below. Now let me open the file real quick so we can see what the data set looks like. Alright, so from this table we have all these columns. Actually, let me copy this to an Excel file. And I'll close the CSV file. Alright, so if we look at the table here, so here's the title type, dates added, and it's going to be this slicer right here, which is going to control the year range. Alright, so let's see what else. And rating. Oh, and one more thing, in country. And these are going to be the 4 columns that we'll be mainly using to create those visualizations. And as you can see that we don't even need to use all the columns. Simply 4 columns is going to be sufficient to create a dashboard like this. Now let's import the data set. So from the Home tab, I'm going to click on Get Data. Then I'm going to choose Text CSV. Now here, select the data file and import the file. Now because I download this file directly from online, so the data is not very clean. Here I'm going to click on Transform Data. I want to do just a little bit of cleaning up before we can use the data set. Alright, so the first thing I want to do here is I want to get rid of the invalid rating type. Right, so here I'm going to click on the filter dropdown. Now if we look at the list, so here click on load more to load the complete list. Now from this list, we have some ratings type that I don't think is going to be valid, such as this 66 minutes, 74 minutes, 84 minutes. I don't think those are the correct rating type. So I'm going to take out those 3 items, then click on OK to filter out those records. Now, the next thing I want to do here is I want to go to the country column. Now, if we look at this list here, right, so scroll down to United States. Now, here I want to merge these 3 items, United States, Canada, United States, Ireland, and United States, Japan, to United States. All right, so here, let's do this. I'm going to go to the Home tab, then click on Replace Values. Now here I'm going to replace United States, Canada with United States. And I'll do this 2 more times with United States, Ireland, and United States, Japan. Now if we go back to the drop-down list, it's not drop-down list, the filter list. Now if I scroll down to United States, right, so here looks like I made a typo. Let me do it again. Now those 2 countries are now grouped into United States. Alright, so this one more thing I want to do. and this one's optional. I want to add 2 more columns to gives me the date added year and dates added month. Right, so here I'm going to click on add column, then click on custom column. And I'll name this as date added year. Now in Power Query, we can use the date.year function. Then we insert the column name, date added. Now make sure that there's no syntax error. And once you verify that, you can click on OK to insert the formula. Alright, so here looks like I made a mistake. Let's see. Alright, so I don't usually use Power Query to clean up my data. I usually use Python or SQL to do that. Alright, so here looks like I need to wrap the field name with the curly bracket, so that was the issue. We now have the year based on the date added column. Alright, so I decided not to create the date added month column. Just the year only should be sufficient. Once you're happy with the transformation and the cleanup, you can now go to the Home tab and click on Choose and Apply. And you want to save the results set by clicking on Close and Apply. So here I have an input error, and that's only one record. Let me take a look at the error message real quick. And it did not show me the error message. I need to go back to Power Query. But that's okay, it's only one row. And assuming that there's no input error, and here let me go into the report view. So I'm using one of the latest feature, which is, I forgot the feature name. If we go to Options and Settings, then go to Options. Now from the Preview Features, I have this object interaction feature check. What that feature will do is, it allows you to directly interact with the visualization objects, which I'll show you in a second. Here, let me open this image, and it's going to be my reference to duplicate this dashboard. And I'll put this aside. The first thing I want to add is the slicer. Right, so here I'm going to drag the type field to the slicer visual. Right, so here you can see that we have some couple more dirty data that we need to clean up. Alright, so let me go back to the data view tab, and I'll go to home, and I'll transform the data. Now you can see the error message that I was missing before. Alright, so basically some of the dates values are invalid. Let me take a look. Alright, so let me do the type field first. Now from the type filter, I only want to see movie and TV show. Let me make sure that here me unselect everything. And I'll choose movie and TV show. Then click on OK. Now save and apply. Now the slicer will only show movie and TV show. Alright, so with my format tab. So here let me create a new pane to display both the format tab and the data tab together. Now here I want to change the background, so I'm going to click on Canvas settings and make sure that the ratio is set to 16:9. Then we're going to go to Canvas background. Then I'm going to set the background color to black. Then we want to set the transparency to 0%. And I'll change the background to black completely. Now click on the slicer visual. Now here we want to set the background to transparent. And we can do that simply by turning off the background. All right, now I want to change the font color. So go to values. I want to change the font color to white. Now I want to change the slicer style to drop down. From the style list, I want to choose drop down. Now I also want to change the background to white to make things a little bit easier to see. All right, so on the values, I want to go to the background section, change the background color to white. And actually, let me change the font color to black. Now for the slicer header, I actually want to use the title instead. So I'm going to turn off slicer header section. And I'll go to the title section. Now for the title text, I'm going to type title, type. And for the font color, I'm going to set that to red. Now, the reason why you're seeing the fonts a little bit small on my screen is because my current zooming ratio is set to 97%. But let me change that to 120%. I think that's going to be a little bit easier to see. Alright, so I don't like the color, so let me use a different color. Alright, so let me grab the hex value from this image here. Alright, so I'm going to choose the color, and for the hex value, it's going to be 9F and 4 zeros. And that's still not good enough. Let me make that a bit lighter. Alright, so I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to use the hex value, E, followed by 5 zeros. And for the title font size, it's going to be 14. Alright, so that's going to be the title type dropdown. Next, we're going to insert the logo. Alright, so for the logo, here let me move the logo over. Alright, so for the logo, I already have just a Netflix logo image right here. So I'm going to go to Insert tab. Then I'm going to click on Image. Now I'm going to select the image. Then click on Open. Now here I want to move the image or the logo image right in the middle. It should be right here. Alright, so let's create the visuals. The first one is going to be this map visual. And to insert the map visual from the visual list, I'll be using Azure Map Visual. Now here I'm going to drag the country field to the visual. And that'll display the square that represent where the movies are filmed. Now because I want to use this visual to show the number of films are made in each country, I'm going to drag the country field to the address map visual again. So the field is going to add it to the legend field automatically. Now I want to move that to the size field. Now right away we can see that we have an issue here. So let me zoom in a little bit more. Now if I hover my mouse to this small circle right here, and I can see that the country is labeled as USA, and the outer circle is going to be United States. Alright, so that means that we need to go back to the data set, then click on transform data. We need to clean out the data one more time. Alright, so let's see. Alright, so I'm going to right click on the field, then I'm going to click on replace values. Now here I'm simply going to replace USA to United States. Then click on close and apply. Right, so now this time I can see that the small circle is now gone. Now to match the color theme of the dashboard, I want to change the bubble color to red. Right, so here expand the bubble layer section. Then go to colors. And I want to change the color to the red color that I choose before. And what else do we need? Oh, and we need to change the background color to transparent. It should be on the, let's see, should be under size and style, and turn off the background. Now again, I want to use title to display the header. All right, so here I'm going to name the title by country. And I'll change the font color to white. I also want to do one more thing. All right, so going back to the bubble layer section, I want to change the border color to black. And I think that's going to look a little bit better. Now that's all we need to do for the math visual. All right, so let's move on to the next one, and which is this top 10 general bar chart. All right, so it's going to be a horizontal bar chart. So from the visual list, I'm going to choose stack bar chart. Now the top 10 general horizontal bar chart is going to represent the top 10 general based on the general count. I'm going to drag the genre field to the visual. And that's going to fill the y-axis. I'm going to drag the field again to the x-axis field. And I'm going to take out the visual header. I think this is going to be the subtitle, followed by x and y-axis title. So I'm going to take out those items. And also take out the x-axis label as well. Now here I want to expand the y-axis label ratio. I don't know if that's the correct terminology. All right, so first let me change the background color to transparent. I'm going to turn off the background. Next, I'm going to change the label font color to white. Then I'm going to add the data labels to the bar charts. All right, so here I want to change the data label color to white. So I'm going to right click and change the font color to white. And for the bar color, I'll set that to the red color. Now going to the title section. Now for the title, I want to name this as top 10 genre. And for the font color, it's going to be white. All right, so right now, we can see that the top 10 genre visual is showing every single genre. And when we want to show the top 10, now go ahead and expand the filters pane. Now double click on the genre section. Now I want to change the filter type from basic filtering to top N. And that basically means that we want to display the top N items. And it's going to be top 10. Now for the criteria, it's going to be based on the genre count. So I'm going to drag the genre field to the by value section. And here change that to count. Now that only display the top 10 genre. Alright, so the next thing I want to do here is I want to expand the label width. And this one I can't remember correctly. Right, so let me take a look. It should be on the y-axis. And here I'm going to increase the max area width to, let's do 50%. Right, so I think 50% looks pretty good. Let me resize the visual. Alright, so that's going to be the top 10 genre visual. The next item is going to be this area chart. Now, because this area chart is going to represent the number of films or titles that were produced in each year. So here, let's go ahead and create the slicer to adjust, actually not to adjust, to select the year range. All right, so here, let's insert the slices visual. And I noticed that the year column that I created disappear. All right, so that's okay. Actually, it's right here. Date added year. So here I'm going to drag the date added year field to the slicer. Now I want to change the style to between. And I don't see the option here. Let me take a look. Now if we look at the data type based on the values created using Power Query formula, and we can see that when we use the function in Power Query, despite that the values looks like regular numbers, but it's going to get converted to text automatically. Now here I want to change the data type from text to whole number. Now if we go back to the slicer, and from the dropdown, we now have more options. Now here, choose between. Now I want to increase the font size from 9 to 12. And here I want to turn off the background. Now I want to change the font color from the values section and change that to white. Now go to title. And here I want to name the title. Let's do year. And for the font color, it's going to be Netflix color. Alright, so I want to align these two visuals. Alright, so I want to check one more thing. Okay, never mind. I don't think that's going to fix the spacing issue here. Yeah, let's see. Okay, now if we go on the subtitle and scroll down to spacing, and I think that's going to, okay. Now I want to set the vertical spacing to 0 pixel. We need to increase the visual size a little bit. Okay, so everything looks so good so far. Now there are two more visuals that we need to create. One is the area chart. Now I want to add the area chart to the dashboard. Now for the y-axis, this is going to be the year. I'm going to drag the date added year to the visual. Now the field is going to get added to the y-axis. I want to move that to the x-axis. And it's going to be trained by title type. So that means that we need to display the quantity based on the type column, which is this one right here. Now here we need to move the type field to y-axis. And because we want to separate the area chart by title type, I'm going to drag the type field to the legend here. And that's going to separate the area chart into movie and TV show. So based on the two types that we have so far. Now here I want to get rid of the subtitle. Now click on the legend. I want to get rid of the legend title as well. Now for the area chart color, alright, so here let's go into color. So under lines, I want to go into color. Now for TV show, I want to change that to, here let's do movie first. So for movie, I want to change that to the Netflix logo color. And for TV show, I want to change that to a lighter color. So this is going to be E and 5 zeros. Now here I'm going to adjust the color. I think that looks pretty good. Right, so it's going to be C7, 1F, 1F. The next thing I want to do is I want to change the legend label color to white. It should be under legend, text, and change the font color to white. And again, I want to turn off the background. Now here we need to get rid of the gray lines. And this will be on the, let's see. And this will be on the gray lines. And turn off both horizontal and vertical gray lines. Now for the font color, I want to change that to white. And I'll increase the label size to 12. And same thing here. And delete the Y and the X-axis titles. Alright, so for the title, let's name this to trend by title type. And we change the text color to white. Now the last feature is going to be ratings. And this one should be pretty easy. Now here, choose stack bar chart. And here, drag the rating field to the visual. And that's going to fill the y-axis label. Now we need to do it again to create the count. Alright, so here let's take a look to see what happens. Alright, so again, the second time that I drag the field is going to add it to the legend field. Now I want to move these to x-axis. Get rid of the subtitle. And the y and the x-axis labels. Turn off the background. And change the label color to white. Increase the font size to 12. And for the visual title, and it's going to be ratings. And the font color is going to be white. So usually at this point, I like to play around with the visual size to make them align. Yeah, I'm just going to manually adjust the size. Alright, so I noticed that the logo is not inserted correctly. Let me try again. Now I say I know what the issue was. Right, so double click on the image and go to size and style. Now make sure that you turn up the lock aspect ratio setting. Now I can freely adjust the logo size. Well, the ratio lock. And I want to make sure that the logo is at its correct size. And here I noticed that I forgot to change the bar color. And the font size is going to be 12 on the labels. And it should be a little bit higher. Right, so that looks pretty good for now. And I say I'm going to stop right here. But just for validation, I'm going to change the drop down to movie and TV show. Now here I cannot select both items, so I need to adjust the slicer one more time. Right, so go to slicer settings, then go to selection. Now here make sure that you turn on the show select all option and make sure that this setting is turned on. Alright, so let's take a look. So I'm going to choose movie only. Then I'll change the year range. Let's do 2016 all the way to 2020. And right here, I forgot to add the data labels. Now I click on the bars, then choose add data labels. Now for the older version, it's going to be on the data labels. And make sure that you turn on the setting and change the label color to white. Increase the font size to 12. And this one too. Actually, let's change this to size 10. Alright, so and that's it. So this is going to be everything that we're going to build in this tutorial. So I hope you find this video useful, and you can download the final file from the link in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this video a like and click on the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.